It was not a great weekend in Texas for the St. Louis Cardinals, but the way people are reacting, you'd think the sky is falling. Are fans really losing faith after one series? Let's talk about it on today's episode of Locked On Cardinals.
You are Locked On Cardinals, your daily St. Louis Cardinals podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello there, Cardinals fans. I'm JD Hafron, and I'm your host for Locked On Cardinals, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, covering your team every day. You can follow me on X at JD Sports Radio. You can follow the podcast at LO_Cardinals. We're on YouTube. Make sure you like, subscribe, and comment, and hit that notification button so you don't miss any of the new things that we put out there for you. Also available on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. This is a show serving Cardinal Nation and giving the best fans of baseball all of the info about the birds on the bat. So the St. Louis Cardinals had a bad weekend, losing the series in Texas. They got outscored 19-4, got beat up in that first game, got a tremendous effort from Sonny Gray in the second one to pick up the win and eke just enough runs across the plate to pick up that W, and then had a bad defensive inning and then a Roderick Munoz mashing that led to Sunday's lopsided loss in the end, although it was a better game for 7 innings than what the score would reflect. And some fans, at least it appears to me, are beginning to lose faith. Not everybody. I'm not pigeonholing everybody, but a lot of the vocal people starting to lose a little faith. Some of the messages I got after this series, it's falling apart. Great offense. I knew this wouldn't last. It's called a regression to normal. This franchise was kidding themselves if it thought this would last. One lucky month. The Cardinals finally turned into a pumpkin. This probably is who they really are. Glad I didn't get sucked in. And that's just a few small samples of some of the things that were said. Now, there were plenty of positive things said by people. And I want to acknowledge that because obviously they've been out there. But I see this stuff come in and I just am like, how do you go through life feeling this way all the time where just everything is negative? I don't know how some of these people do it. Their record right now is 33-26. It's pretty good. They've won 6 of their last 10, despite what you saw this weekend in Texas. But for whatever reason, some fans are beginning to lose faith in them after this weekend. Now, personally, I would rather look at the entire road trip than focus on 3 games. And for the road trip, a place that they haven't normally played their best baseball so far in 2025, the team went 3-3. If there's anything that I was a little concerned about was that some of the defensive lapses that are happening that haven't been happening for the Cardinals, which is help them get out to this great start. That's about it. You know, like simple routine things that they made some mistakes on. Does that mean they're going to start doing it all the time? No. Does it mean that they were as good as they had been the whole time? Like that's the elite defense they were showing? Is that who they really are all the time? And then this was just a couple of hiccups? Maybe. But the team still went 3-3. They now have the 8th best overall winning percentage in the league. They've played much worse on the road. We know this. Than they have at Busch Stadium. The road is not easy. Road record is now 14-18. Home record at 19-8, which ranks them 3rd in winning percentage at home. It's pretty good. Will it stay that way all season? Probably not. But the road thing is something that most teams have trouble with. Winning on the road is not easy. It's certainly not as easy as winning at home. And if you remember where this team was on the road earlier this year and how bad they were to where they are now, night and day, right? Off the top of your head, do you know how many teams have winning road records in the league right now? Guess. If you said 7, you're the winner. 7 of 30 teams have winning road records. It's not normal to win on the road. Only the truly great teams usually do. Are the Cardinals a great team? I don't think we're at that level yet to say that. But they're a pretty good team. So you're more than welcome to lose your minds over losing a 3-game series on the road to the Texas Rangers. That is your prerogative, just like Bobby Brown said. A team that I will continue to say is better than their record, by the way, those Texas Rangers. They've just had a really tough time scoring runs, which is weird. Obviously, Corey Seager being hurt a few times has been an issue. Adolis Garcia falling off a cliff offensively has been an issue. Marcus Semien, until the Cardinals showed up, had not been hitting. So you can see why they've struggled overall this season. But I think that's a much better team than what they're getting credit for. But I implore you to please not jump to a conclusion after a 3-game series that the Cardinals are either trash or they're awesome. You know, the Cardinals have beaten the Phillies 2 out of 3 in both series against them. Did we start saying that, here we come, World Series, let's go? Since they just beat the team that had the best record in the National League, or had it at one point. They don't anymore after getting swept by the Brewers. But I don't remember people saying that and freaking out like, get your tickets, here comes the World Series. So I don't see why, after losing a couple of games in the way they did, that you immediately jump to the conclusion that they are not as good as they were in May, that they really are just trash. I just don't get it. I don't understand that. I don't follow that thinking at all. To quote the great Alfred Pennyworth in The Dark Knight, I think some men just want to watch the world burn, and that's just who they are. And if there is one thing I've learned in covering baseball for as long as I have and playing the game as long as I have, it's that Mo's magic word, patience. And I know, as annoying as it got to hear, especially when things weren't going well, it's actually quite important in this particular sport. The season is long. I mean, we're 2 months into this. We got 4 months remaining. Yeah, what, 3 months till the trade deadline? June, July, and then the end of August? Well, 2 months then, because it's the end of July. My bad. So 2 months. Still 2 months till the trade deadline. Long way to go in this thing. And after working out the kinks in April, you know, the roster decisions, batting order, bullpen roles and assignments, things went extremely well in May. And before we got to May, you know, fans were saying to me that, you know, this stretch on the road against the Phillies, the Royals, and the Tigers, or I shouldn't say just the road, but the stretch of games against the Phillies, Royals, and Tigers is going to tell you where this team really is. And they ended up going 5-4. And then they won 3 straight over the Diamondbacks following that, who at the time were 26-24. They've kind of fallen off a little bit since the Cardinals beat up on them. And, you know, coming into that series, the Diamondbacks went 3-4 against the Dodgers. Not easy. 1-2 of 3 over the Giants. Very good team in San Francisco this year. I mean, does none of that count anymore? that they played some decent teams and were pretty good against them. And now we're seeing that, you know, June is going to be a real test, because on paper it looks pretty damn daunting. Royals coming to Busch first, 31-29. Then the mighty Dodgers at 36-23. Blue Jays, 31-28. All those games are at home. Then you go on the road for the Brewers, who have won 7 in a row. They're 32-28. The White Sox, 18-41. Then back home for the Reds, 29-31. 2 games under 500. The Cubs, obviously, looking good, 37-22. Then on the road to Cleveland, 32-26. And then it's Pittsburgh, 22-38. So that's 6 series against teams above 500, 2 division opponents below 500, and then you get the White Sox. Am I telling you that the Cardinals won't slip a little bit as the year continues? No, I'm not telling you that. The odds are good that they probably will, because what they did in May was spectacular. They went 19-8 in the month of May, best record in the league. That's not easy to replicate. But June is shaping up to be quite the gauntlet. And they only had 2 days off the entire month. Today, June the 2nd, And then Monday, June 16th, and that is it. They are playing baseball every single day, weather pending. So if they finish at 500 this month, does that mean they suck now? I don't think so. I would consider it a win, considering the teams that they're about to play. Each month is a test in a different way. And buckle in, because June is about to be a grind. Up next, I'm not the only person that thinks what the Cardinals are doing is real. And the power rankings reflect this. We'll take a look at those. Plus, we'll look ahead at the series against the Royals. They're calling up their top prospect. We'll get into all of this coming up on Locked On Cardinals. Looking for a snack that's both delicious and nutritious, then crack into a good source of protein with Wonderful Pistachios. Wonderful Pistachios is one of the highest protein nuts. Each 1 ounce serving has 6 grams of protein, giving you over 10% of your daily value. Plus, they're packed with fiber and better for you unsaturated fats to help keep you full longer, at least feeling full longer, which is the real secret. If you're trying to lose some weight for, the summer season, you wanted to get into bathing suit shape, this is a way to help that out. So when you're watching Cardinal baseball, you're watching the Stanley Cup Finals, Florida and Edmonton again, the NBA Finals, Oklahoma City and Indiana, Battlehawks, St. Louis City SC, college baseball, whatever it is, movies, TV shows, you're going to want to snack on something. It's just what we do. So make the smart decision and grab something super snackable as well as good for you with Wonderful Pistachios. They make it super easy to get a quick protein boost, and that's always nice when you're trying to build muscle and lose weight. Plus, it provides all 9 essential amino acids while you're watching whatever it is you're watching. So get snacking and get cracking with the snack that packs a protein punch. Visit wonderfulpistachios.com to learn more. Thanks again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. Leave your comments on YouTube as well as on X anytime you want. Your feedback is always welcome and encouraged. Newest MLB Power Rankings have dropped, and there is a new team at the top of the list, and it's a team that the Cardinals played pretty well against, but did lose the series. That's a fact, and it's the Detroit Tigers. Previously number 3, but scooch up to the top spot thanks to Tarek Skubal's incredible performances against the Guardians and the Royals. He's freaking awesome. I mean, what more can you say? And the Cardinals did him pretty well when they played against him. In at number 2, a team the Cardinals are going to be facing this upcoming weekend in St. Louis, and that's the Dodgers. Shohei Ohtani, dude's been on an absolute heater with 14 home runs in his last 26 games. Freddie Freeman hit 386 over the same time frame. And just think, they don't have Tyler Glasnow, Blake Snell, Roki Sasaki. None of those guys are in the rotation right now. All of those guys are hurt. Bullpen is missing a bunch of big names too, and yet they continue to roll on, and there's no doubt that they are going to try to add more pieces when we get closer to the trade deadline, depending on what the injury situation looks like with the rotation in the bullpen. They just got Alexis Diaz from the Cincinnati Reds, just gave him to him. It was just like, we're not going to use him anymore. Cardinals broke Alexis Diaz. We'll see if he can find that magic once again that he had for the last couple of seasons while he's in LA. Number 3, Chicago Cubs. Boo! Chicago Cubs. The rotation down, Shota Imanaga, who was coming back from a hammy issue. Justin Steele's gone for the year, but they continue to find ways to win. They were 18-9 in May. Pretty darn good record, right? Right behind the Cardinals. But they also, I do want to point this out. And yes, you have to beat the bad teams too, but they played the Marlins and the Reds twice, the White Sox, and the Rockies. Like, that's a kind of a cream puff schedule in the month of May. Now, their April schedule was a little more difficult. 6 of the wins, though, out of the 18 this month, or like last month, I should say. It's June now, but in May, came against the White Sox and the Rockies. They're 12-13 against teams over the 500 mark. I'm not saying they're a bad team. I'm just pointing out stats. These are just facts. Cardinals will see them at Busch Stadium on June 23rd through the 26th. I sincerely hope that things are as tight as they are right now. It's 4 games right now between the two. It'd be nice if it was like 2 3. That way there could be a swing there. But we'll see. We'll see. June 23rd through the 26th. I hope a lot of Cardinal fans show up. I would hate to see Busch Stadium just drowning in Cubby blue during that series. So let's get out there. Phillies dropped from number 1 to number 4. The Brewers just swept them in 3 straight in Philly. They were without Bryce Harper, though, who should be back on Tuesday. But the Phillies have lost 4 in a row. Got passed by the Mets for first in the division. Cardinals took 4 of 6 from them already this season. The Aaron Nola thing is a big deal, but they still got a lot of big pieces. Get Bryce Harper back, who he got hit on the elbow against the Braves, so that's why he's been out. Then at number 5, you got the Mets. Despite being in first place over Philly, they're a spot behind them in the rankings, but a lot of their success, like the Cardinals, has been at home, where they have the best record in the league. They're 24-7 at home. Cardinals found out the hard way how good that team was at home when they got swept there earlier this season. They're 13-15 on the road. So at home, amazing. On the road, kind of meh. Yankees come in at number 6, then it's the Padres at number 7. And well, looky what we got here. Cracking the top 10. Say hello to the St. Louis Cardinals. Yeah. Cardinals come in at number 8. Quite a jump from last week when they were at number 12. Right up on this says that Brendan Donovan has won a Gold Glove, finished 3rd in Rookie of the Year voting. Homered at Rickwood Field, but one thing he hasn't done is make an all-star game. And that is almost certainly going to change this year. He's 3rd in the NL in batting average, leads in hits and doubles, and leads all second basemen in almost every category. He has been the best player on the most surprising team in baseball so far. That's what it says at MLB.com. Yes, Brendan Donovan's been very good. If you haven't seen the episode of me talking about whether or not Brendan Donovan is the best second baseman in baseball, at least right now, go check it out. It's from last week, but it's up there. Other notables in the power rankings. Brewers jump all the way from 22 to number 14 after winning 7 in a row, including 3 against the Red Sox, 3 over the Phillies. Christian Yelich, he's been on fire this week. They had some walk-off wins against Boston, and then you get the sweep over the Phillies, who were without Bryce Harper. But, hey, 7 straight is 7 straight, no matter what the circumstances is. They run a good ship in Milwaukee. That's the reason why they've been winning this division the last couple of years. So, never count them out. 7 in a row. Nothing to sneeze at. Rangers actually dipped from 19 to 22 despite winning 2 of 3 against the Cardinals this weekend. Reds go from 18 to 19 after going 3-3 last week. They won 2 against the Royals. Then they lost 2 of 3 in Chicago against the Cubs. So, not easy to go win in Wrigley. But the Cardinals' next opponent, the Kansas City Royals, they come in at number 15 on the list. They're 1 spot up from last week. And they're bringing some reinforcements up from the minor leagues to, hopefully for them, is what they're trying, is to bring a little life into their offense. So we'll discuss what they've done and this upcoming series coming up next on Locked On Cardinals. Thank you again for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen today. For your second listen, check out the all-new Locked On MLB Game Night. Every game, every night, all season long. Get local analysis on a national scale. Find MLB Game Night on Locked On MLB on YouTube or wherever you listen to your podcasts. So the Royals seem like a better team than I guess they really have been recently. Cardinals took 2 of 3 of them from them in Kansas City last month, but it wasn't easy. It's not like they just went right through them, winning 2 of 3. They've got a very good pitching staff in Kansas City, but the offense has been suspect at best. It has not been good. Outside of Bobby Witt Jr., hasn't been a ton to get excited about for the Royals. So the Royals decided to inject some life into it by calling up their top prospect in 2024 first-round draft pick, Jac Caglianone, who was taken 6th overall out of Florida, right in front of the Cardinals, who ended up grabbing J.J. Weatherholt at number 7. And the dude was an absolute machine in college. He was very, 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 very good. Here's a picture of him for Media Day earlier this spring. He was excellent. 2-way star. Ends up spending just 2 weeks at AAA And the Royals were like, screw it, we need some offense. And so they're yanking him up. The 22-year-old was slashing 322, 389, and 593 with 15 home runs and 56 RBIs in 50 games between AA and AAA this year. The guy can mash. He's also learning to play outfield since the Royals have the Pasquatch, Vinny Pasquantino, as well as Salvador Perez at first base on occasion. So not a lot of room there for any playing time. So they're moving him to the outfield, which is what he's been learning. And according to the reports I've seen, he's made that transition pretty well. We've seen how difficult it can be for a young person to switch positions and learn the outfield. Jordan Walker has had to do that. And until this year, that was not looking so good. But it is looking much better, obviously, now. It's a shame that he's on the IL at the moment. But he's going to be there, man. Jac Caglianone is going to DH in the series against the Cardinals. Is he going to play outfield? I don't know. Probably both. We shall see. But MLB.com said this about the Royals and this particular series. And, of course, they're going to mention him. Here's Jack with his sister at a game earlier this year. The Royals have the fourth worst record in baseball since May 10th, behind only the A's, Rockies, and Orioles. And it has been almost entirely because of their offense. They've scored the fewest runs in baseball over that span. It has come at an inopportune time with division rivals Minnesota and Detroit taking advantage of their struggles by beating them in the series over the last week. The storyline for the series, the Cardinals enter the season facing low expectations and were all but written off after an uninspiring April. Then they rattled off 9 straight wins from May 4th through the 12th and went on to have the MLB best 19-8 May record, leapfrogging the Brewers and Reds in the standings. Now they can officially set their eyes on the first place Cubs. That is, if they can smoothly rebound from being outscored 19-4 in Arlington over the weekend. What to watch out for? Obviously, the big story on this one, they say Royals fans, the time has come. Top prospect Jac Caglianone, after meeting his recent promotion to AAA with 6 home runs in 11 games, has gotten the call to the bigs and will join the team in St. Louis. Regardless of your affiliation, you won't want to miss this debut. I'm thinking about picking him up for fantasy purposes just to see. Now, I know that the Cardinals pitching staff's been pretty good, but I don't know, man. Maybe that's something we should think about doing if he's going to come up and be that big of a deal. The pitching matchups for the series: Michael Lorenzen, former Red, going for the Royals against Andre Palante on Tuesday. Wednesday night, it's the impressive rookie Noah Cameron, who has been light out for the Royals so far. Another guy, if you're a fantasy player, you might want to look at against Miles Michaelis, because he was really good against the Cardinals their last time out. Then on Thursday, Matthew Liberatore will get the ball looking to rebound from his poor outing in Texas. No starter has yet been named for Kansas City in Wednesday's game. So, we'll wait and see and find out what's going on. I was thinking about this too. With all of these games coming up in June for the Cardinals, I wonder if they're going to go back to that 6-man rotation and get Steven Matz in there. That was something that was also brought up at MLB.com. And I don't know, it worked pretty good the last time. So I would assume they would probably lean towards doing that once again, but haven't seen anything posted on that just yet. But we'll keep you posted if anything changes. So thank you for making Locked On Cardinals your first listen every day. If you haven't already, give us a follow on X at @LO_Cardinals and at JD Sports Radio. We're on TikTok and Instagram at Locked On Cardinals. Please like and subscribe on YouTube and help our channel and love for the Cardinals grow. You guys are the best fans in baseball for a reason, and we will see you next time on Locked On Cardinals.